Mornings filled with meaningful business talk.
Giving you useful advice on how to win at your career.
I am Randy Bernardino.
And I am Mayan Manzano Gerson, and this is
Daily Insight. Now on to our business news. Red Cross looks to global influencers to fight virus infodemic. The Red Cross launched what it said was the first global network of social media influencers to battle misinformation about the new coronavirus and spread life-saving content about the pandemic. Experts have been warning for months that the pandemic has been cloaked in a massive infodemic, a deluge of information including widespread false claims which can pose a serious threat to public health. The World Health Organization website lists a catalog of dangerous myths circulating about the virus. But while the WHO and others are putting out correct information, it can be difficult to reach everyone and counter the misconceptions. In a bid to reach young people, especially with accurate and vital information about the deadly disease spreading around the globe, the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society, or IFRC, said it had joined forces with marketing agency Billion Dollar Boy to sign up more than 24 prominent individuals with large social media followings.
On our next news, Randy, NASA and SpaceX target historic spaceflight despite pandemic. NASA and SpaceX said that they were pressing ahead with plans to launch astronauts to space from U.S. soil for the first time in nearly a decade despite the coronavirus pandemic. It is an important stage in NASA's new economic model. The space agency has spent billions on contracts with both SpaceX and Boeing to develop spaceships that will each have to make 6 round trips to the ISS. The mission is a major milestone for SpaceX, the company founded by Elon Musk, who also leads and founded Tesla. SpaceX, which has received billions of dollars from NASA since the late 2000s, has been supplying cargo to the ISS since 2012 and has established itself as the leader in the private space sector thanks to its reusable rocket, the Falcon 9.
AMC Theaters pulls Universal Films over streaming dispute. The leading US movie theater chain, AMC, said it will no longer play any Universal Pictures movies on its screens as a dispute escalated over the record-breaking release of Trolls World Tour on streaming platforms. The children's film sequel from Universal Pictures was released directly to on-demand platforms last month after its theatrical release was hit by the coronavirus. At the time, the studio indicated the move was an exceptional response to the pandemic. But a recent report quoted a Universal boss saying the studio's movies would now be released on both formats even once theaters reopen, due to the film's record $95 million streaming haul. AMC, the largest theater chain with 8,000 screens across North America, responded with a letter to Universal stating that effectively, immediately, AMC will no longer play any Universal movies in any of its theaters in the United States, Europe, or the Middle East. CEO Adam Aron said, AMC believes that with this proposed action to go to the home and theaters simultaneously, Universal is breaking the business model and dealings between our two companies.
MGM pitches plan for NBA to finish season in Vegas. MGM Resorts International has pitched a proposal to the NBA to complete the coronavirus-halted 2019-2020 season on courts in Las Vegas convention centers. The plan would have players and their families plus other essential personnel stay in a quarantined area in MGM hotels along the Las Vegas Strip while practicing and competing on courts in the same facilities. Players and broadcasters would have access to the usual resort facilities while in the protected area. The plan would convert MGM convention centers into 24 basketball courts, 5 of them equipped with cameras to permit television coverage, and players would reside in connected or nearby hotels. The Mandalay Bay Resort, with 4,700 rooms available over 3 connected hotels, would be the central hub of the MGM Vegas plan. An enclosed walkway would connect the luxure where caterers and housekeepers would reside.
So those are the trending business news around the world. When we come back, we'll discuss how a teacher is adjusting to distance learning.
Stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I am Kathleen Cruz and I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy. And if you've been staying home and you have nothing else to do, today I am going to teach you how to make banana bread. If you have tons of overripe bananas that you don't feel like eating at all, well, this is your time. You can make your own chocolate pecan banana bread at home, and that's what I'm going to tell you about. Okay, everyone, so everything that I already have prepared here, all you have to do is basically mix everything, right? So we're going to start off with our wet ingredients, which is 1/4 cup of the oil. And then we're going to have the eggs. There you go. Set your mixer for 2-1. And we're going to slowly add our 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, or I'm using 1/2 cup here. And then the salt and the baking soda. Right? So easy. Next is the bananas. So before you wanted to mix everything together, you wanted to preheat your oven at 350 degrees. I'm going to put my pecans. Yep. And I'm gonna add a little bit of chocolate chips. I'm using dark chocolate just because I love dark chocolate. And then I'm just gonna add a tad bit of chia seed for texture. If you don't want the texture of chia seed, I don't recommend you putting it in. Just this. Yeah, that's good. So in making a cake or banana bread, you don't want over mixing. So that's as much as I wanted it mixed. So as you can see, I don't really do a lot of mixing, right? So easy. You can even make this in 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our pan, pour it in. So the secret for a moist banana bread, I would say, is that you shouldn't be over mixing any of your batter. You want to have a good quality of flour. So usually if you're wanting to make cakes or any sweet breads or anything, you wanted to use as much as possible a cake flour. There you have it. This is already the batter, and I am just going to wait until the oven is ready. So that's what we're gonna do. And for the meantime, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my toppings. So what do I have on my toppings? So right there, I put some pecans, brown sugar, and more of the chocolate and a little bit of cinnamon. So yeah, that's it guys. I hope you liked this video and I was able to share you one of my favorite recipes of the banana bread, and it's super moist that the kids can love, everyone could love. You can also mix and match it with different toppings that you'd like. As you've seen, I also added a little bit of chia seeds in there. My name is Kathleen Cruz, and of course, we'll live in interesting times.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Insight. Today, we'll be talking about how this teacher is adjusting to distance learning. And with that, we have a special education teacher. Let's all welcome Melissa Benedicto. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hi. Hi, Randy. Hi, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. First, I'd want to wish you a happy Teachers Appreciation Week.
Thank you. It's nice to be appreciated.
That's good. Did you receive any special gifts like apples or
Just
toilet
happy
paper?
smiles. No toilet paper. Happy smiles from my students.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so now, Melissa, a lot of people who are tuning in are maybe hearing this term for the first time, distance learning. So for those people who don't know what it is, what is distance learning?
Basically, it's a classroom where you're not physically together, but you're doing just that. You're learning. Distance learning is new for a lot of elementary school teachers who are used to being physically in a classroom. However, distance learning is not a new concept. It's if you've heard of online teaching before or online learning, that's a form of distance learning. So it's just for the teachers who have had their schools closed down because of COVID, it's something new that we hadn't done before.
I see. So distance learning is pretty much a virtual classroom. So how is this virtual classroom different than a traditional classroom? Of course, you said it's online, but what other differences can you mention?
So the difference between distance learning and a physical classroom is just that you, in a classroom, you're there physically. And for our students, their day is very structured. When it's recess time, they go outside for recess. When it's lunchtime, the cafeteria is there for lunchtime. When it's reading, writing, math, it's pretty much the same. Their schedule stays the same. However, when we talk about distance learning, students have to put themselves on a schedule, or parents have to, make sure to facilitate that at home. We may see them virtually for an hour or so, maybe more a day, but the bulk of the time we are away from them as far as instruction. They're on their own, having to set their own schedule. So that's it. That piece is very different.
So with traditional schooling, kids are at school for 8 hours. But you're saying with distance learning, you're with them only for 1 hour in a day?
I speak for what I do,
Okay.
but basically I have virtual classes, and a certain group of students will have a virtual class with me, and then I have another set another time, and then another set. Other students, I may do phone calls, check in with them and see how they're doing that way. So it's different because, I facilitate their learning from way over here from my
Yes.
home. That's very different, in hopes that they do what they're supposed to do on their end.
So because of that, how do you monitor the students' progress if you don't see them as much as traditional school?
So a lot of this is tech-based. We have virtual classrooms. Students use iPads or laptops, even their phones, and I can see their progress and monitor it through these digital platforms, whether it's Google Classroom, and I can see it real time, whether a student has logged in and is typing at the moment or is working on something at the moment. I can do that, and I can facilitate it through my home.
Now, because of the pandemic and the shelter-in-place order, all of these things happened very fast, and there really wasn't a transition into learning distance learning. For you yourself as a teacher, how were you adjusting to this format of teaching online?
I think the first thing that came to mind when I heard how we were going to be teaching, or what we would have to do, was, panic at first.
Yes.
But we make do. You know, our students are very important. We make sure that they know we are available and there, because all they know is us being there in a classroom. That's pretty much the world of education. Most kids know that their teacher probably lives in the classroom. You know, who knows? But because we are not able to go there physically, we're making it a point. I'm making it a point to make sure to check in with my students, make sure they see my face, make sure they know I'm there and able to help them in whatever capacity I can. So whether it's a phone call, whether it's an email, whether it's a Zoom session, whether I have to send out paper packets because, you know, a student can't get on the internet for some reason. We use every means possible in order to connect our students with the curriculum.
It really sounds like you're going above and beyond what a teacher does in a normal classroom setting.
It's very different. Yeah, we've done everything we can. Like, I think a bulk of my day happens over the phone because I'm, you know, helping with technology, you know, how to access these things because we're not used to them on a daily basis, right? So it is different, but we're making do and we're coping as best as we can. So for our students.
For you personally, are you really tech savvy? Was it an easy transition to use these new platforms?
Thankfully, I have children who help with their mom with,
Yes.
you know, like the things I don't know what to do with, like, or know how, you know, how to access or anything. But I do go to my kids for help sometimes. But we do, you know, we have a tech department that's amazing in our school district that will help with the digital platform and everything. But I feel like, yes, I had to throw myself into this tech world that I wasn't necessarily trained in, but I feel like we're doing what we can to get the instruction out.
So far, we've learned a lot of useful information about distance learning. When we come back to Daily Insight, we'll continue our discussion with Melissa Benedicto.
They help us with our morning work because she is so nice to me. They're nice and kind to the morning meeting. They help me if I am in trouble. I like her dress because they let us play some once in a while. That my teacher helps us write and spell.
They always care for us. Whenever we have like problems, they act like our counselors. They make so much work for us so that we could learn more, and we're getting ready for the middle school.
She helps me and she's funny.
Who's your favorite teacher?
And she helps me learn. She makes me do a lot of work, but she's nice. My teacher listens to me. Because they teach us.
They teach us some new stuff that we haven't learned.
So we can get into a better life.
They teach us art, like blending so that it can look like 3D.
She's like helping me and she learns me how to read.
It's important to have teachers in our life because they teach us what's good and bad or what's right from wrong, so we're on the correct path.
Because they give you information to make your brain healthy. A necklace. A goodie bag. Since she is having a baby, I'm gonna give her needs for the baby.
Heart of chocolate.
An egg toy.
A portrait.
Dunkin' Donuts snack. I'll give the chocolate. Like a new phone. A high-tech gadget. Like a cell phone. I'd give them a pot with my name on it.
I would give them a new classroom full of everything new, even air conditioning, because they worked hard for it.
My electric teddy bear.
A teddy bear that's holding a heart saying thank you.
A teddy bear? Thanks for everything that you taught me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Insight. Today, we are talking about distance learning with our guest, Melissa Benedicto. So now that the students are at home because of these shelter-in-place orders and of this distance learning, how are they adapting to this new way of teaching?
Well, I can speak about my own children who are learning from afar. They have Zoom sessions, which is a virtual video conferencing platform. They get to meet with their teacher daily, and then they do their work. So as the parent, I'm making sure that they have a schedule, that they're following it, and that they're checking off everything that they're supposed to do on their end. How they feel about distance learning, there are pros and cons. Obviously, my kids will be able to sleep in longer.
Oh, yes.
Than if they
wear
had
their pajamas to school.
That I do not allow, actually. This parent does not allow that. They have to get dressed, wash their face, brush their teeth, comb their hair, because they're not going to look like they just rolled out of bed, literally.
At least from the top up.
Yes, Randy, thank you. But they do, and I make sure that they have their own separate location, quiet enough for them to be able to participate in whatever's going on in the classroom.
Now, for other teachers out there who are like you, maybe are not tech savvy, that may not also have a household that is tech savvy, what's some advice that you can give them to help with this adjustment and transition into distance learning?
I just say the biggest advice is be open-minded. Just throw yourself into whatever you can learn. There's Google, there's YouTube, there's, all these things that you can use to kind of give you a tutorial. Your colleagues, who are tech savvy, give them a call and ask for help that way. But yeah, just be open-minded to learn something new, completely new.
Besides the technology and being tech savvy, what are some other challenges that you're facing with distance learning, and how are you able to overcome them?
When you're in a classroom physically, you're able to communicate with your students, just verbally. You're able to give assignments, hand out papers, give them feedback real time.
Yeah.
Usually. But in this digital platform, you're fighting with internet connectivity. You're fighting with power outages. You're fighting with just technology.
Yes.
Did they hear you at when you gave the instruction? Did they mute you? Did they walk away from the screen for that split second that you gave that instruction? Those are the kinds of things that are obstacles. But I found that if we give instruction or content different ways, for example, you can make a phone call and give direct instruction that way. You can share it through email. You can share it through Google Classroom. You can share it through Zoom. If you find different ways to share content,
Mhm.
They'll be able to get it one way or another. So multiple ways to communicate.
I see. Now, what about in the methods that you're teaching? Do you have to be more creative? Do you have to be more animated to the children through, a screen?
So student engagement through digital platform or virtual classrooms is a big challenge. It can be a big challenge. We found different ways to try to engage the kids. There are apps out there that you could use in order to do like virtual quizzes or different ways to have students together, kind of like a digital whiteboard where everybody's posting their own comments at real time, so that everybody's doing something and you get engagement that way.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us on Daily Insight. Do you have any last minute words for our viewers who are also teachers facing this right now? What's some words of encouragement that you can give them?
I know I speak for myself as well as my colleagues when I say we miss our students a lot. We miss our students very much. Seeing their smiling faces, hearing just their funny comments, and engaging with them physically in a classroom. But all I could say is to all of my fellow educators out there, hang in there. School will be in session sooner than we know, and we will see our students once again.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa. And again, happy Teachers Appreciation Week.
Thank you.
These are mornings filled with meaningful business talk, giving you useful advice on how to win at your career. I am Randy Bernardino, and this is Daily Insight.
Urging our viewers and listeners around the world to help raise COVID-19 relief from PPEs to relief goods. The primary beneficiary of the proceeds will go to the FYM Medical Foundation that also supports the New Era General Hospital, which maintains a biocontainment facility also intended for COVID-19 patients.
Here are the many ways to donate and be able to help health workers and frontliners through the FYM Medical Foundation as our beneficiary. First, donate via pymy.co/EBC. Just use any Visa, MasterCard, or JCB credit, debit, or prepaid card and donate by logging on to pymy.co/EBC. Just choose an amount you wish to donate and enter your card details. Second, donate via the PayMaya app. If you have a PayMaya account, you can easily donate by scanning the QR code you see on the screen. Just log on to your app, click the scan button, point your camera to the QR code that you see on the screen, and enter the amount you wish to donate. Third, donate via PayPal. For PayPal app users, just log on to eaglenews.ph and click the PayPal Donate Now button found at the upper portion of the website. Input the amount you wish to donate, click Use this donation for Enjoy Music Beyond the Crisis, and choose between Donate with PayPal or Donate with a credit card in order to enter your additional information. Fourth, donate directly to the EBC bank account that is flashing on your screens. You can complete transactions online or directly with your banks. Wherever you are in the world, you can easily help those affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, even while at home, through our beneficiary FYM Medical Foundation. Donate now and watch out for the next performances of Enjoy Music Beyond the Crisis EBC 52nd Anniversary Special on Net25 and on all social media channels on May 10th and 17th, 2020. Together, let's all do our part and stand as one against COVID-19. This is Julianne. We live in interesting times.